Hi everybody, I'm Rebecca Bolton from the Hormone Mentor. If you don't know me already, I help women that are going through the perimenopause to figure out the root cause of their symptoms so they can manage them naturally through food and lifestyle changes. And today I want to talk to you about weight gain. When you're going through the perimenopause, very common for you to gain weight, particularly in areas that you weren't necessarily gaining it before, and to change shape. And it actually does make it more difficult to lose weight as well. So it's a bit of a double whammy there. And today in this video I want to talk to you about the hormones which are actually affected and are imbalanced, causing you to gain this weight and struggle to lose it, and also give you some ideas of ways that you can change your diet to help you start to release that weight and get down to a size that you are happy with. Now the first hormone I want to talk to you about is insulin. Now this can be uncontrolled at any part of your life, but particularly affects you during the perimenopause. Your sugar levels become a little bit uncontrollable if you're not eating the right types of food, and that can mean that you store fat because your glucose regulator has basically stopped working. So looking at your diet and how you're eating can make a big difference to your insulin levels and to helping you to reduce that weight. The second hormone is, of course, estrogen. Now, when you're gaining weight during the perimenopause, it can be that your estrogen levels are actually too high. Although they are naturally meant to decline as you're heading towards the menopause, there's lots of different reasons why your estrogen levels might be high or higher than you would like them to be during this time. One of them being that your body isn't excreting them properly and getting rid of excess hormones. Another one being that you are taking in lots of artificial or synthetic hormones through your diet or through use of skincare and different makeups and things like that can actually bring in synthetic hormones into your body. And if you're not releasing that, it can mean that you gain weight and you struggle to lose it as well. The third hormone is cortisol. Now that's related to your stress levels. So when you are stressed, your body releases cortisol to help bring down the stress levels and help you to deal with stress. Now if you are stressed a lot of the time, then it can cause that hormone to become dysregulated and for you to struggle to handle stress, and that can cause fat storage as well. And it can also cause sugar cravings, which of course when you're eating lots of sugar, that's also not good for your weight and can cause you to put a lot of weight on in a short space of time. So I hope I've not depressed you too much talking about this, but there are things that you can do to help manage it, and it's just a case of looking at your diet and looking at how well you're actually taking care of yourself when it comes to weight loss. One of the things that a lot of women do, particularly when we're busy, is not to make sure that we're eating at regular intervals. So it might be that you're skipping breakfast or you're working through lunch, but making sure that you're eating regularly can mean that you are regulating your insulin levels and keeping your energy, your mood, your focus consistent throughout the day, and that has a big effect on your weight. If your insulin levels drop down and your body starts to crave sugar, then you then start to reach for things that you wouldn't necessarily eat or choose to eat if you were trying to eat in a more healthy way. But because you have that very strong craving, you're making decisions that are not necessarily the best ones for you. So making sure that you are sustaining those energy levels and sustaining your sugar levels can mean that your insulin can be more regulated and therefore will help you to release weight if you are eating a healthy diet. Another thing to remember is natural unprocessed foods that your body actually finds easy to absorb, to digest, is really important when it comes to your insulin, and also making sure that you are eating the right types of carbs. I don't believe that you have to go low carb to lose weight during the perimenopause, although it is a really common diet for women to go on. It's about eating the right types of carbs, so not reaching for those white refined carbohydrates, but going for things like sweet potatoes and whole grains, things like brown rice and pasta. And if you are going to have bread, think about spelt or whole grain as an alternative, and making sure that you're not having too much of that kind of thing. Your diet should be focusing on good quality protein from meats and fish and eggs and beans and pulses and things like that, and a small amount of fat, and then maybe a handful size portion of carbohydrates is all you actually need, not a big piled up plate. And the second thing is that fibre is really important, because what that does is help your estrogen levels to be reduced, because fibre is really important for excreting those excess hormones. When they are not excreted, they circulate around your body and cause all sorts of havoc. So making sure that you are having plenty of fibre, and that's from things like whole grains, again, I've talked about, but fruit and vegetables are really important. So making sure that you're having green leafy vegetables in particular is important for lowering your estrogen levels. And also thinking about how much caffeine and stimulants you have in your diet is important, particularly for your stress and lowering down those cortisol levels. Your body can become more sensitive to things like caffeine when you are very stressed, and your body may not necessarily deal with it as well, and that obviously causes you to hold on to fat, like I talked about earlier. So thinking about reducing caffeine, taking some time out for yourself, going for a little walk at lunchtime, or doing a little bit of meditation, even if it's only 10 minutes, can be really beneficial in reducing those stress levels throughout the day and making sure that your cortisol levels are regulated and not out of whack, which can cause problems with your weight. So I hope those tips have been helpful. If you are thinking about trying to lose weight, those are just a really good place to start. There's so many diets out there, but really it's about making good choices with your food. It doesn't have to be a diet. It could be that you're just choosing foods that nourish and support your body, and all of the things that I've talked about today are focused around that. So if anybody has any questions, make sure that you let me know in the comments. I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel by clicking the button below, and just let me know what you think and if you're enjoying the videos. If you're looking to make a start on balancing your hormones naturally through food, then do check out my hormone balancing recipe guide, which will give you some really good recipe ideas to get you started, and the link for that is also in the comments of this video. Take care, and I'll see you next week.